The Cincinnati Bengals are one defensive disaster away from wasting another year of Joe Burrow's prime, but a shocking trade proposal just changed everything inside the building. We all watched this unit crumble last season, finishing as one of the worst defenses in the entire league, and the front office knows the current linebacker room is a massive liability. While names like Jonathan Allen and Boye Mafe have arrived to save the front four, a glaring hole remains at the second level. Could a trade for an all-pro star from Miami be the final piece that saves the season? Jordyn Brooks is the name currently sending shockwaves through the Queen City as a potential trade target that could instantly transform this struggling defense. According to a compelling new proposal from Ralph Vacchiano of Fox Sports, the Cincinnati Bengals could secure the Miami Dolphins all-pro linebacker in exchange for a 2026 third-round pick and a late-round flyer. This isn't just a depth move. It is a fundamental shift in how the Bengals view their championship window. Last year, the defense was a sieve, ranking near the bottom in almost every meaningful statistical category. The front office has been aggressive, adding veteran leadership on the line and rebuilding the secondary, but the linebacker core remains the weakest link in the entire organization. Brooks represents a massive upgrade over the current young and unproven group that struggled to tackle consistently or cover elite tight ends. Last season, he was a statistical machine, proving he belongs among the league's elite with production that dwarfed anything Cincinnati had on the field. Bringing in a player of this caliber would signal that the Bengals are no longer content with just being good enough on defense. They want a unit that can actually win games while the offense finds its rhythm. However, this trade isn't the only path the front office is considering, as there is a local dynamic involving a rising star that could change the entire draft strategy if the trade doesn't materialize. The tension in the scouting room is palpable because the team knows they cannot afford another season of defensive lapses. If they pull the trigger on Brooks, it changes the math for the first round of the draft entirely. But there is another name that has been the dream scenario for the coaching staff, a player who represents the future of the position right here in Ohio. This specific prospect has the versatility that Lou Anarumo craves, yet his draft stock might make him unattainable without a massive jump. This leads us to a critical crossroad for the franchise. Do they gamble on a trade for a proven all-pro now, or do they hold their breath and hope their draft board falls perfectly? The decision made in the next few weeks will define the ceiling of this team for the next 3 years. And the stakes have never been higher for this defense. Do you believe trading for an all-pro linebacker like Jordyn Brooks is the final move needed to bring a Super Bowl trophy to Cincinnati this year? This is a massive turning point for our franchise, and we need to hear your voice in the comments below. If you want the most accurate, inside information on every Bengals move, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button right now. We are on a mission to hit 500 subscribers, and your support is what keeps this channel going. Is this the move that fixes the defense for good? Sonny Styles is the name that every scout in the building has circled as the ideal defensive chess piece, but the reality of the draft board is starting to set in. While the dream is to land Styles at pick number 10 to solidify the second level of the defense, the league-wide buzz suggests he might not even be available when the Bengals are on the clock. This is exactly why the Jordyn Brooks trade talk has intensified behind the scenes. The Bengals linebacker room is currently regarded as perhaps the worst in professional football, a harsh reality for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. The youth in that room hasn't developed at the necessary rate, and the lack of a dominant, sure tackling presence has been a recurring nightmare for the coaching staff. Jordyn Brooks brings exactly what the Bengals lacked: elite tackling and high-level football IQ. Last season, Brooks posted a staggering 183 tackles, with 99 of those being solo efforts. To put that in perspective, that kind of sideline-to-sideline range would have single-handedly erased dozens of explosive plays that burned Cincinnati last year. He also earned a top 10 PFF grade, proving that his production isn't just empty stats. He is fundamentally sound in both run support and passing windows. The front office is weighing the cost of a future third-round pick against the immediate impact of an all-pro who is just entering his prime. Insider chatter suggests the Dolphins might be open to the move to clear cap space, but the Bengals have historically been cautious with their draft capital. However, the pressure to win now with Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase is reaching a boiling point. The defense simply cannot be the reason this team fails again. By pairing Brooks with the new additions like Jonathan Allen, the Bengals would suddenly have a spine of the defense that can compete with the high-powered offenses of the AFC North. It is a bold strategy that deviates from the traditional Bengals way of building through the draft, but the window is open now. If they can't get Styles, Brooks becomes more than just an option. He becomes a necessity. The internal debate is whether the 2026 picks are worth the immediate stability Brooks provides, especially given the lack of proven talent currently on the roster. Every day they wait, the price could go up or another contender could swoop in. The impact of a move this significant would vibrate through every level of the organization and completely reshape the AFC North hierarchy. For years, the Bengals have been criticized for their linebacker play, often relying on high-effort but limited ceiling players who get exposed in January. Bringing in an all-pro like Jordan Brooks changes that narrative instantly. It would allow defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo to be far more creative with his blitz packages and coverage shells, knowing he has a dependable eraser in the middle of the field. From a front office perspective, this move signals a shift toward a win-now mentality that fans have been begging for. Duke Tobin and the staff have already shown uncharacteristic aggression this offseason by targeting veterans like Jonathan Allen, but the linebacker position is the final hurdle. If this trade goes through, the Bengals' defense goes from a liability to a top 10 potential unit overnight. It also provides a safety net if the draft doesn't fall their way. If they land Brooks, they are no longer forced to reach for a linebacker in the early rounds, allowing them to take the best player available or further bolster the offensive line to protect Joe Burrow. The future of the franchise depends on finding a balance between an explosive offense and a defense that can actually get off the field on third down. Last year's inability to stop the run and cover the middle of the field was the primary reason for several heartbreaking losses. By addressing this now, the Bengals are positioning themselves as the primary challengers to the Chiefs in the AFC. The ripple effect on the roster would be significant, likely pushing some of the younger players into specialized roles where they can actually succeed, instead of being forced into starting positions they aren't ready for. The next few weeks are critical. If Miami signals they are ready to deal, the Bengals must move fast. The competitive landscape of the NFL doesn't wait for anyone, and an all-pro linebacker in his prime rarely becomes available for a mid-round pick. This is the kind of savvy, aggressive move that championship teams make when they know their window is open. The question isn't whether Brooks is worth the pick. It's whether the Bengals can afford to enter next season without a player of his caliber leading the defense. Ultimately, the pursuit of Jordan Brooks represents more than just a roster upgrade. It is a statement of intent from the Cincinnati Bengals to the rest of the NFL. For too long, this team has been one piece away, watching from the sidelines as other franchises made the bold moves necessary to secure a ring. By targeting an all-pro who recorded nearly 200 tackles last season, Cincinnati is telling their fans and their players that the time to win is right now. This defense was broken, but the pieces are finally being put back together in a way that should terrify the rest of the division. Imagine a Bengals team where the defense actually complements Joe Burrow instead of forcing him to score 40 points just to keep pace. That is the reality a Brooks trade creates. It provides the toughness, the reliability, and the elite playmaking that has been missing from the second level of this defense for years. The significance of this moment cannot be overstated. We are witnessing a fundamental change in how this franchise operates, prioritizing veteran excellence over draft potential in a bid to maximize their championship window. This is about more than just one player. It is about building a culture of defensive dominance that matches the swagger of the offense. But we want to know what you think about this potential blockbuster. Would you give up a third-round pick for an all-pro linebacker, or would you rather take your chances in the draft and hope Sonny Styles falls to 10? This is the most important question facing the Bengals right now, so leave your thoughts below. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like to help us reach our goal of 500 subscribers. We are your home for everything Cincinnati Bengals, and you won't want to miss our next update as this trade situation develops. This could be the move that finally brings a championship to the Queen City. Thanks for watching, and as always, WHO DEY! The future of this defense starts now, and we will be here to cover every single second of the journey as the Bengals chase greatness in the upcoming season.